Yeah.
Last time we spoke, you said you want to print T-shirts to say "Step outside your comfort zone."
Yeah, that has been my mantra for since the first lockdown. Get out of your comfort zone.
Yes, yes. And this is how you've gotten to where you've gotten to. So the reason we've invited you to join us for a chat today, as you know, is because you have set up business by yourself and it's something that you were comfortable doing. And then you went and did it because of the circumstances that you were faced with. And that's what we'd like you to have a little chat about. There are other people, those who are uncomfortable and unsatisfied and unhappy and unfulfilled with their careers, lives, whatever. It's just to give them convincers. And this is purely for our Facebook group. We might choose to put it elsewhere. I don't know. We haven't discussed that yet. To give people convincers that it is possible, it is doable. Just because you're doing one thing now doesn't mean you've got to stick to it. And you've got to start perhaps from zero again. But there is a, there is the confidence that you can have in your abilities, in your skill set, in your future vision, that you can build to what you want to have a sustainable business and lifestyle, if you like. Yeah. If you were to give up what you have now.
Yeah, and I think I have a clearer view now that 4 years plus. I think you need through a kind of reset of your life in a way. Because if you want to move forward, you cannot build on previous foundations. You have to build new ones because, or you can keep the foundations and build something else on the foundations, but you cannot just start again with the same ideas and the same. I've met so many people that decided that they want to change their life or change job, and basically they end up doing exactly the same thing and having the same problems. I know people that were harassed at work and decided to change and end up having a boss that is even worse than the one they had before, because they didn't do the work on themselves. Last week I met the lady that helped me through the process. I did I used a transition coach to help me when I lost my job, and I think it was the best thing to do. And she told me that to put down in writing what I really wanted from my next job and what I didn't want at all to find in my next job. And I think those points are really important, because otherwise you continue doing the same things again and again and again.
Totally. That whole change is about those two things. What do you want more of? What do you want less of? And it's really hard to kind of sit and just do that to yourself. So I think what you did there is having someone outside of your head kind of coax that out is super, super valuable. So yeah. So when you did that, what were the things you wanted more of, and what were the things you wanted less of?
Well, the one important thing is that that's my phrase now. It's get out of your comfort zone. And the lady I worked with said, get out of your comfort zone. And I remember it was really tough on me, because a yes or a no was not enough. I had to go further than that, and to provide proper answers, proper feelings. And I remember once I even cried during the session because it was too tough for me. I had to express myself, but it was the only way to do things properly. And what I didn't want is I didn't want to go to work and having boss harassing me. I didn't want to not enjoy my job anymore. What I really want is to have fun and to work with like-minded people. And in a way, setting up my business was enabled me to do that, because I'm able to now decide with whom I want to work and with whom I don't want to work at a certain point. Yes, of course, because you need still to have customers, but what is interesting is that you tend to attract like-minded people when you decide to do that. And more, you know, our customers, our partners are like-minded people.
Totally. I mean, this is something Vafa and I, just between ourselves, have talked about so much. And that bit, the phrase you used in it, you know, of course you need customers, and that's always that kind of that caveat, and almost kind of gives you a threshold beyond which you're prepared to say, no, you've crossed the line now, all the rest of it. But I think what we ended up violently agreeing on is that, well, what does customer mean? So it's not just anyone who's willing to part with money. You know, if they don't suit you, if they're going to be hard for you to work with, if they're going to be really high maintenance, whatever that means for you, then maybe they fall out of the definition of customer. Yeah, and I think a lot of business owners that you talk to talk about this thing about one of the massive upsides is I get to choose who I have to work with. I get to, you know, work with.
I agree, and I think you need to sit down as a business owner or as a partner in a company to decide, you know, and to define what is your customer, and what you will accept or not as a customer. You know, because the problem is that of course it can look attractive to have a big customer. But if you have to reduce your margin and work, you know, long hours, at the end it's not valuable. And or if the customer doesn't meet, you know, the criteria in terms of your belief in the way you want to do business, then you shouldn't go for it. You know, I stopped working with a customer that was bringing about 3 years ago. That was bringing quite a lot of files for us, because they were doing things that I didn't agree, and I informed them that it wasn't, you know, it was not acceptable, you know, a few times. And at one point I said, okay, sorry, you know, we decided with my wife that and business partner that it was enough. We had to stop because it was not of value anymore.